Sure, Nidhi,
Yes,
we are live.
yes, we are.
I am still able to see kids are waiting to start because here they cannot see. As a participant, you are not able to see.
Ankit, comments on that?
I'm seeing 1 second. Uh, Live.
That is why it is telling it is yet to start. Yeah, now we are live. Now it is very
Okay,
much live.
good.
Well,
I can
fine.
see the happiness on Akshay's face. So let's get started.
And Akshay, remember that there will always be a little bit of lag.
Ankit is breaking. Ankit, you are breaking.
I was
But
saying that.
anyways, we are live.
Yeah, we are
Okay.
live
We are live.
and there will be a
Yeah.
little bit of a lag, he's saying. So, but let's be comfortable and get started.
Yeah. So, good evening to all present here. Thank you, kids and parents, for joining us today. So, I'll just introduce myself. Well, I'm Akshay Jain, born and brought up in Belgaum, and currently I'm in the education sector, training kids from 7 to 12 for different exams, right from maths to science till competitive exams. I've been teaching since almost 8 years now. Uh, so, what we have realized before I start further, I'll just introduce Nidhi and Ankit. So I have with us Nidhi today. She's my childhood friend. We grew together, and she is currently in US, but now she's in Germany, but currently residing in US. She's currently a professor in regulatory affairs and digital and cyber security at Northeastern University, Boston in US. And we have Ankit with us. So Ankit is a technology program officer who loves to build things. So currently into the education sector. So welcome Nidhi and Ankit.
Thank you for having us, Akshay.
Hey, thank you, Akshay, for having us. Looking forward to this exciting conversation.
Yes. So here we are to discuss about what's the most burning question in today's parents when a kid reaches at the age of 13 or 14, and that is what do kid opt for post 10th, or how does a kid or a parent makes a right career choices. That's the most burning question in today's generation, because with so many options opening up in various sectors, it becomes so difficult for a kid to make the right career choice, or else also along with that it has to go in line with the interest area. So taking this discussion forward, I would like to ask Nidhi first that when a kid enters school, uh, especially high school, so, what should be the mindset of a kid when a kid is going to school, and how should he think that what are the right things I should be doing? Just not learning rote learning of just cramming things. So, Nidhi can add something on that.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a very good question to start with. First of all, when students go to school, somehow the mindset is that they have to score above 90, they have to score above 80. That kind of mindset, I think that needs to slowly change to figuring out, okay, what are we actually learning in school? Schools are such amazing places, where students can learn emotional, social learning. They can also develop a lot of different skills, which Ankit will talk about later.
Hmm.
But like, involve yourself in competitions. Try to understand what subjects do you like. Do you like English and social studies, or do you like math and science? Do you like languages? Pay attention to who you are. Build that self awareness and understand what your values are. What By values I mean, do you value ambition, or do you value honesty, or how, what is your perception of different subjects? That is important for a child to understand. Build self awareness. Identify your interest. Like, I was interested in elocution, debates, chess, biology. So that's how I went on to study biotechnology. I did not study biotechnology because somebody forced me to study biotechnology, or depending on what marks I had got, right? In 12th standard I had scored very less, around 69% I had scored. But I never for once hesitated that if I want to study biotechnology, I will study it, because that's the subject that I like. So you also have to identify what these what your interests are, what your subjects are, and That I think is first
So
in that school.
what I observe currently with the typical parents and kids mindset कि हमको इंग्लिश थोड़ा सा ग्रामर चाहिए टिपिकल व्हाट दे थिंक हमको मैथ्स और साइंस करना है सो हमारा माइंडसेट वही है बियॉन्ड दैट दे डोंट फोकस मच सो एज अ parent if you are a parent what would be your approach if you have a kid how would you think कि क्या मैथ साइंस और इंग्लिश ही करना है प्रायोरिटी होना चाहिए with the point of education point of because they don't seem to give priority to other subjects or other languages. What is your take on that?
Ankit, do you want to answer that?
Uh, sh- yes, I can answer that. But so the thing is, Akshay, I mean, it is unfortunate that students today only, or rather, we are living in a times
Parents,
where parents
parents as
and
well.
students only look. Yeah, but also I would say that it is also teachers as well, right? And also society who are pushing towards science and technology, because in the past 20 years, that is the sector where jobs have been created. If you think about it, right? IT, engineering, and all of that. But these are all sustaining jobs. And as India is developing towards a more progressive economy, we will not just require sustaining jobs, but we will also require entertaining jobs.
And innovative
But
jobs.
and innovative jobs. By that, what I mean is like field of arts is going to open up now. Now people would want to have museums. They want to see more of entertainment. So art and creativity is going to unleash. Now that we are in the 75th year of independence, and from here we are going to go towards 100, right? We are going to seek a lot of inspiration from our past. And how will all that come, right? That will come through art, history, humanities, studying our culture, our behavior. If you see, there's so much of importance that has been given to our history, right, and our geography. So I think arts and humanities is going to come up as a very important field, and as more and more industries are coming up, more jobs are coming up, art will only rise to the fore.
And
The,
yes, Akshay, go ahead.
yeah, Nidhi. No, what I'm observing here, me coming from Belgaum, a local boy, have seen so many parents like almost in 8 years. What I've realized is that why as a parent
Hmm.
I'm not able to feel that अगर मेरा बच्चा आर्ट्स लेके
Hmm.
या ह्यूमैनिटी या एसएसटी लेके करियर बनाएगा तो पेरेंट्स को उतना वो करियर ऑप्शन सक्सेसफुल दिखता नहीं है. What is the reason for that?
I can answer that. I think the biggest misconception that parents and students face is that only engineers and doctors make money. The rest of them, उनको लगता है कि उनके पास पैसा ही नहीं है. This is exactly what the notion is, because I've spoken to a lot of parents and students and understood like why, like where is this fear coming from, right? Because when parents time, like, when they were choosing their careers, parents have worked only in one office, like a government sector office, or had their businesses for 30 years. At that point India was struggling, and but today we live in the 21st century. The trade has globalized and liberalized. We no more have to be afraid as to, oh, हमारा बच्चा अच्छा रह सकता है कि नहीं, या रह सकती है कि नहीं. Not at all, because it's hard to be unemployed in today's world. If the students have the right skill set, it's very hard to be unemployed. We have to trust ourselves, right? Parents are not trusting the students are not trusting themselves. How are they going to take that confidence that whatever I will study, there are career options for it? Biotechnology I've studied. Now I am in cybersecurity, totally unrelated field. Very heavily technical, both of them. But I'm working there, right? So it's not it does not really matter. One thing I want to add to conclude this part is, anything from procurement of raw material in industry to customer success in industry, and everything that is there in between: HR, supply chain, logistics, business management, financial management, analyst positions, ये सारे लोग engineers और doctors है ही नहीं. The whole industries are running on this. So yeah, the world is
Maybe for
changing.
the benefit of our audience, can you give an example of some jobs related to arts which also pay very well.
Oh, absolutely. Just going by my stream itself, I'm in regulatory affairs. It's very much a arts, humanities, law, management combined subject, and I that career is definitely helping me. But let's not talk about that because it's a very unknown topic. But if you think about arts, if you want to get into media management, if you want to get into fashion business management, if you want to become a oceanographer, fisheries, wildlife is growing like crazy in India because we've started to understand environmental impact and ecological impact, right? So environment studies is going to boom like crazy. Even
Mhm.
urban planning, our cities need to be rebuilt. India has only 4 metro cities. Imagine, like Ankita and I were other day having a discussion, India has only 4 metro cities. All these cities are now going to be built. So you need urban planners, you need architects, you need spaces to be designed in a certain way where inclusivity is there. Like सब
Mhm.
बच्चों को, पेरेंट्स को, बूढ़ों को साथ में कैसे, like they live together. So society is changing. So arts, liberal arts is taking a new overhaul. There's renewal of liberal arts in India right now, and people who are interested in English, social studies, history, economics should absolutely jump on that opportunity.
Oh, oh,
My,
and I
my
would just
question
like
here
to
is,
add here one thing
yeah,
is
yes,
language is
Ankit.
going to play a very important role in the coming future years, because to teach artificial intelligence and also for own benefit as well. So if you are someone who thinks that there's nothing in language, I would ask you to think again on that, because now is the time where the regional languages are being given important, where we are bringing all the languages in our communications. Languages are also going to be very important.
Absolutely.
Okay. Right. So, Niti, just you spoke on various fields. My question to you is that how, as a kid at the age of 8th standard or 9th standard, how do I identify what is my interest area? Because a kid mindset is like, मुझे स्कूल जाना है, मैं मजे करूंगा, टीचर जो पढ़ाई करूंगा, मैं क्लास जाऊंगा, मैं शाम को खेलने जाऊंगा, मेरा दिन खत्म है. But
Mm.
why is that something masala missing? That how should I develop my interest area? What are my interest area? How do I curtail that?
Right. So,
Explore that.
yeah, yeah. One thing is, when you're studying subjects, okay, like if, say you're studying social studies and you write like a certain topic, and start to dwell deeper into that topic. You have YouTube, you have the whole internet available to you. So when you like certain concept or subject, you should dwell deeper into it, dig deeper into it, what you like about the subject. That's where I think earliest it will begin, because now everyone has information. You are not going to library and looking at the books. All you can do is, if somebody is interested in history, they can make very good careers in being a diplomat, international affairs, economics. All these areas will open up for them. So like I have a student who is interested in design and biology. So read more books about biology, right? Or read more content about biology online, see if that interests
That's
you.
a very,
Then
very
you'll
nice
get to
point,
know.
that criteria to develop your skill sets or interest areas.
To identify your interest areas, I would say. Then from there on, once you identify, oh, these are the things that I like. Maybe you like fashion, you like makeup also, so that is also an interest area. What is happening in the fashion industry? We have recently put up a video on fashion. You can go check that out on YouTube, how many different career options are there in the fashion industry. See, earlier what used to happen, people would be like, oh, fashion designer means she will come and start to tailor. ऐसा हो जाता था. ऐसा अभी बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. This costume designer, you can be an entrepreneur, you can work on the social impact of second hand economy for clothes. you know like opportunities are plenty in any
So
field,
one
right?
thing that has to be very clear, that ऐसा कोई stream नहीं है या field नहीं है जहाँ पे career बन नहीं सकता, और grades equivalently they can earn as well compared to engineer, doctor. That has to, that वो parents को वो mindset से थोड़ा बाहर आना पड़ेगा, accept करना पड़ेगा कि world बदल चुका है.
Correct. और ये चीज towards the end we'll talk about, like why मतलब how can we get over that mindset, right?
Okay, since as you, I'll just sum up what you said is
And
that
just
as a
one
student.
What
Just as a student, when you go to school, the intention should not be just to teach.
I think we lost him for a moment. But Ankit, what did you want to say?
Yes, I wanted to say that since we were talking about interest and you mentioned about reading and blogs and books, I would also add that having a community around you of friends who are interested in like subjects. Such as we have seen in our internship as well, right? When what happens when people who are interested in design and fashion come together, they have
Mm-hmm.
like so many conversations around that. They are talking about like, hey, did you see this New York Fashion Week, or did you see about that? So I
Mm-hmm.
think what this does is like this opens up their mind, right? And they exchange the ideas. One of
Mm-hmm.
the biggest feedback that we get in our program is that they really like to hear the perspective of other students. So I
Mm-hmm.
think if students come together as a group who are interested in one subject, it really helps us bring new perspectives and improve their creativity.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Where community becomes very important, right? Just like how in the internship, and like even growing up, like although my friends had very different interests, but there would always be some community where you are affiliated with, where
Yeah.
you can talk about these things. For me, that was Akshay. Akshay was not my daily friend or anything, but Akshay and I shared very common interests that was like a community.
That's currently missing in kids. तो वो एक बहुत बड़ा पॉइंट है कि पेरेंट्स को ये चीजों से बाहर निकलना पड़ेगा कि अगर मेरे बच्चे ने 95 99 लिया है तो उसका करियर सेट है, वो बहुत ग्रेट करियर करेगा, उसको साइंस या कोई एक अच्छे फील्ड में डाल के वो सेट हो जाएगा. सो दैट इज नॉट ट्रू सो इन द करंट वर्ल्ड. You need to have multiple things, just academics, grades, and as a teacher, I can strongly put my point that a 10th
Hmm.
marks is not the judging criteria of a human's intelligence. It is
Hmm.
one of the method
Hmm.
to test your intellectual knowledge, but that cannot define your intelligence, because
It's one of
every
the very
person.
flawed methods, I think, because the other day, one of my students, she was so disappointed with the exams only, because it's like, see, if you're asking the monkey and the fish to climb a tree, then it is unfair for the fish. And I think that is what happens in an examination system, where you're tested solely on your marks and your memory. No, no, yeah, like, because again, taking our internship example itself, such amazingly talented skill sets and capabilities the students have, but nobody is looking past their marks. So yeah, sorry to cut you,
So
Akshay,
parents
but
need to come out of this mindset that 90 aaya, 95 aaya. It should not matter much. As a parent, I feel what you should be doing is that when your kid comes back home from a class or a school, you should be asking, आज क्या नया सीखने मिला, आज क्या पढ़ने में मजा आया क्या, rather than just telling your kid that पढ़ 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 पढ़. So you need to have your mind थोड़ा सा refreshed, and you should, as a parent, you need to reframe your questions, asking the kid कि आज कौन सा टॉपिक पढ़ाया गया, उसमें तुझे कौन सा इंटरेस्टिंग लगा, so that
yeah.
kid, as a kid, he or she would express himself. I found out like I've known so many kids who feel not so secure to express their dreams in front of parents,
Hmm.
just because the parents won't accept them ki, how can your dreams or wishes be so weird, and what we have thought as a kid, where we would see you here, is completely varied from what you're talking about, and that thing, which that fear that exists, becomes very difficult for a kid to express in front of a parent.
So Akshay, here it is very important, right, that the student and the kid as well as the parent are engaging in dialogues, right? But
Hmm.
also in activities. That
Hmm.
I think that every
True.
parent should have one activity with their child that they can say that yes, this is what we do on a fixed basis, maybe on every Sunday or any of the weekday, right? But ये एक activity ऐसी कुछ होनी चाहिए जो वो student के साथ करे. It can be as simple as listening to music. All the parents sit together and listen to music. Before, what used to happen is they used to watch TV, and we used to be like have so many sensations and stimulus, so a conversation used to start.
Hmm.
But now in everybody has got a personal device. You don't know what kind of content I am watching, or what is my world like. The way I will see it is very different.
Very, very,
That's
very,
where
very important
families
point.
need to come together, and they need to start having activities which will help learning as well. Because 95%, this is a research based study, and maybe you'll not like to hear this, but 95% of what we learn is outside of our classroom.
Hmm. Absolutely, absolutely.
And we students spend 60% of their time inside the classroom.
The classroom.
So
Wow.
This
you
is
can see the disparity, right?
such
So
a big
yes,
gap.
parents need to take an active interest in inspiring curiosity in the student, in their kid. Only then the student will feel comfortable expressing their thoughts to them. So yeah, this is what I want to just add.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Just
a two-way
taking
street.
ahead. Yeah, Nidhi,
Go
go
on,
on.
Akhil. No, I just wanted to
Taking
say
things
that.
ahead.
Wait. 1 second. I just wanted to say that it's a two-way conversation, right? Parents are looking from curiosity standpoint, but students also should openly and excitedly share things with their parents. So it's a two-way street. Both have to become comfortable with each other and be able to express. Yes, Akshay.
As a teacher, I've observed one thing. A parent just made a walk-in, and it was a Sunday time, and a student told me that a parent told me that संडे था तो मैंने सोचा करके मेरी बेटी के साथ थोड़ा टाइम बिताऊंगा या बिताऊंगी. तो द किड वाज स्टडीइंग इन अ रूम. सो पेरेंट ने बोला करके दरवाजा खोल दे, मैं साथ में बगल में बैठती हूँ. एंड द किड रिप्लाई वाज शी जस्ट stood and she just walked into other room. So the kid felt that from a I'm taking a side of a parent now, telling that kid को लगता है कि मेरा privacy को तुम hit कर रहे हो. So what is your take on that? तो पेरेंट ने
Right.
बोला मुझे कि संडे का एक दिन मिलता है, हम एक वर्किंग पेरेंट है, तो पूरा दिन में स्पेंड करना नहीं होता है, और अगर हम 5 मिनट 10 मिनट भी चले जाते तो उनको लगता है कि उनका privacy को हम एंटर कर रहे हैं.
No, yeah, I understand because they're also in that age where privacy is so important. Like even I was in that age, and I would always shut my door and just be behind closed doors, just doing my thing. Nothing great. I'm not doing anything great, but I just had to close the doors. But I guess
So Ankit said a very nice point that it is very important to have a dialogue and a communication with each other. Unless you don't open up, unless you don't have a dialogue, it is very difficult to know what are your interest areas or what you
right.
look forward for. Yes, Nidhi.
No, I think that was all I had to say.
Well, the next question I would like to ask is that Ankit, as a student, when you enter into schooling or colleging, what you feel that what is the most necessary skill set that is needed to have a successful career? Because बच्चे को कभी ये नहीं लगता है कि speaking is one very important skill set which will help you in your career. Along with that, involving and team building and taking leadership is another vital skill which you need to have a successful career. But as a kid or as a parent, they don't feel this importance. They feel that studying and getting marks is a tag of success. Your take on it, Ankit?
Yeah, and you cannot blame the parents here, because I'll tell you, the world that we have been living in, or the world that the parents were brought in, grew up, right? That was a time period when manual and routine jobs, right, was the required. You would work in banking, insurance, or in technical field all your life, right? But now times are changing. I mean, if you see today, nobody works 9 to 5. Everybody is on a gig economy. They, in the morning they are doing like for one client work, in the afternoon they are doing something NGO related work, in the evening they're doing hosting their own music events for themselves. So this thing is changing rapidly, and you need to also have a cultural competency. Now what that means is, how do you talk to people who are in different countries, different time zones, and in different statuses? You need to build empathy for that. I'll give you a good example. Every meeting that we have with our students, we try to open up with a conversation just to talk about something random. You will be amazed to know that, and it is very unfortunate that students are not able to hold conversation for more than 5 statements.
Mhm.
Oh. So there is a
What
lack of ideas or a content within them. You feel
I
so?
wouldn't say it is lack of ideas, but communication is very much a skill. These days, what is happening is people are talking less, texting more. And texting is
Hmm.
more of like LOL and just sending emojis. So, what is happening is communication just like 50 to 60% of the communication is non-verbal, right? Are you Students need to be presentable, they need to be having multiple forms of communication, they need to know how to hold a conversation in a party for 10 minutes, because you never know when that person might offer you a job or internship. The second thing is email communication. When you're sending an email to 10 to 15 people, are you articulate enough that you are writing all the points? Because there can be so many different mannerisms that will come into play when a person from a different culture is reading that. And empathetic listening. We If once you put someone to talk, they just keep talking, but are they really listening to the other person, which is also part of communication?
Mm.
Is this all being taught in schools? I don't think so. This comes from our social environment, and I don't think uh, from what I see, our social environment is conducive to have such conversations and to build such communication skills. And what happens is when they grow up, they go out somewhere and they see that, oh, I don't have this skill, but this is a very basic skill that they need to have, which affects their confidence, their motivation, and all of that. And at that time, they'll start thinking, मेरा 95% लेके क्या फायदा हुआ
Right, 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 right.
if I'm not able to hold a conversation
See,
for
like,
2 minutes?
It is a kid, or
So
it is a kid also and a parent, which they need to realize that just getting 95 or 90 plus is not suffice enough to have a successful career.
right, right.
You
See,
need
definitely
something
not
in
today.
along with
they
that.
don't have
It is,
resilience.
yes, Neil.
They don't have resilience, they don't have the ability to handle failure. They're not able to, like, communication is, forget about communication, like how to collaborate with one another, how can they even have new ideas and put that to fruition, right? All these things are not taught in school. They spend 10 years in school, 10 plus 2 they will spend in school learning subjects, but they'll never learn these skills. See, the subject should be 100% learned, but along with those subjects I think we should also do project based learning, inquiry based learning, projects and stuff, where students are able to use those skills with the subjects that they are studying. So that way they'll become career ready and career competency. Age of 15 is no more children, they're already adults. You know, those times are gone where 18 was an adult and 21 was an adult. Today, with the amount of information students have, they are very much adults. Their processing power of information and understanding is much faster now. But
Bringing back the conversation back to skills, right? I would like to say it's not so dark, because what we have seen through our program is that these students are able to brush up their skills so quickly once they identify. Like I was mentoring a student. She said that, sir, I want to be talking effectively and I want to develop my self confidence with that. From the next meeting onwards, she started taking the status updates of what projects we are going on, and I we can see that her confidence level went up. So the what I have noticed is that these kids are smarter than we were.
hmm,
Okay, their grasping power is much more, and we think that they are stupid, but they are not at all.
they're not
And
stupid at
they can learn things very quickly. All they need is little bit of guidance. So skills such as problem solving, critical thinking, adaptability, as Nidhi talked about, resilience, okay, having an entrepreneurial mindset. कुछ भी problem आए तो they should know कि they have to find a solution, rather than rather than getting depressed about
Taking
like,
a
oh,
back
I don't
foot.
know what to.
uh, Taking a back foot. I don't want to be a part of it because I've never tried this, and this just
Hmm.
because they're scared of failure. Of if I end up doing something wrong, how would someone, my close associate or my partner or my parent, judge me on that thing that अरे यार इसको ये भी नहीं कर पाया क्या?
Nobody come, कोई भी सीख के नहीं आता है. Nobody is born with all these skills. Everybody has to develop. I mean, even today, Akshay, you, I, and Nidhi, right, are constantly learning new things.
True.
That is how it is.
Yeah. So I think now parents and students are both very scared of struggling. If they feel like if there is struggle, then
Good
they're
point.
scared. They feel like
I-
the career should be such that the day I graduate, I should be having a high paying job and a very good living situation. That is not going to happen even if you're an engineer or
That's
a
a fairy
doctor.
tale. That will never happen. No, just Are forget about that, Nidhi. I'll add you something more on that. Uh, Recently, Belgaum climate and when it rains heavily, so parents, man, typical parents and kid mindset. आज बारिश हुई है, let's do online. Who will travel in rains?
Mhm.
Sir, I put a big message across all standards. You are not making your kids struggle at this age when they reach at the age of 23, 24, and then when they face struggles or when they face failure, is the kid mentally stable to handle himself or herself? That's the big question
Right.
mark. They always felt that our kid, what they have their mindset. I would not say they are wrong, but they, as a parent, they have a mindset that जो हमने tough days देखे हैं, हम नहीं चाहते कि
Mhm.
मेरे बच्चा वो tough day देखे और
Right.
उनको
क्यों नहीं
सब कुछ
देखे ना, the
ease पे
tough
दिला
days
रहे हैं.
only have made us.
Sorry, Nidhi.
Right, right. No, no. Sorry. I was just also that, yeah, like, see, when you started out, I started out, Ankit started out working. Day one, we were not making a lot of money. Neither were we able to have good careers at that point. It was still uncertain, but as we moved forward, identifying different skills that we wanted to have, and today I think we are in a position where we can mentor different people and make that impact, because we all come from Belgaum, and uh, I think that we need to change that mindset right here.
Okay, so I'll just try to add few things from where we started. So as a kid, first it is very important that when you are entering a high school, I feel that is the age when you start exploring and your ability or your grasping or your knowing things across the globe becomes much more better. So when you enter high school, you need to have a mindset that I should try to explore different avenues. I should be a part of n number of things in the school that is happening and just not restrict myself within the four walls of just doing maths and science and solving the problems. Next, you once you start exploring things, you will know what are your interest areas. And in that, if you find, be it a subject, be it an activity based, which happens, I'm teaching in Gen Heritage, and Gen Heritage is a very nice culture that every Saturday they have a program where they usually don't get bags, and they promote seva, they promote photography for videos. So that is the, I think so. This is the only one school who is promoting this kind of activity, or there might be, I might not be aware of it.
Mhm.
So I feel that जब तुम ये सारी चीजें करोगे तो you'll realize that where my interest area lies and what I'm meant for. And it is not that, it is just that if you have opted for one career, then you need to do lifelong that. That Nidhi would add on that something more.
Yeah, absolutely. I started as a biotechnology engineer only solely because I just wanted to study biotechnology, right? I loved biology, that's why I studied biotechnology. Then I realized that I like something, a mixture of little bit law and policy and management. Then I changed to regulatory affairs in my master's. So I enjoyed learning more about it. Then I thought that, okay, why not learn more about technology and cybersecurity, because that's where the world is heading. So I started to learn more about that. And over a period of years, I've been in the workforce for 8 years now. 8 years now, and I have worked in regulatory affairs. I worked in the lab for biotechnology. I worked as cybersecurity. Today, I've even Ankit and I have started a food venture. We are also doing an education venture. Love to go dancing. There are like so many things, right? All my interests. Why should I restrict to only one interest? That is the
Right.
pressure also students feel.
So once you have tried to explore things, when your interest area starts to begin, then it is a time when you probably you are in 10th. As a parent, what I feel you should be thinking is that जब बच्चा 8 9 10th में एंटर किया है, तो यू नीड टू आस्क हिम कि तुझे क्या अच्छा लगता है करना. Have a communication beyond your academics. Along with that, very important, as a parent, you need to spend time with your, just not कि सुबह हो गया, शाम हो गया, आपने इधर डाला, इधर डाला, इधर डाला, कराटे किया, स्विमिंग किया, दिस दैट. It is very important to have a communication with the kid. Well, going forward, we had done a small survey, and we have come across few common questions, most repeated questions. So I would like to ask few of them. So one of them was most common thing that एक बार मैं इंजीनियर कर लेता हूँ, उसके बाद जो मुझे पसंद आता है मैं वो कर लूंगा. So what is your take on that? Ankit would add something on that.
कैन यू प्लीज रिपीट द क्वेश्चन? एक बार मैं इंजीनियरिंग कर लेता हूँ
Yeah.
फिर?
तो उसके बाद जो मेरा मन चाहता है मैं बाद में करूंगा. पहले इंजीनियर का डिग्री
यस.
होगा तो मेरा लाइफ सिक्योर्ड होगा. इंजीनियर का डिग्री हो तो मेरा
तो
लाइफ सिक्योर्ड होगा.
Right.
दिस
This
इज
is
अ
the question we
क्लासिक
got.
प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन. दिस इज अ क्लासिक प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन. मैं सब कुछ काम मंडे से करूंगा या अगले महीने से करूंगा या नया रेजोल्यूशन बना के करूंगा या तो फिर इंजीनियरिंग लेके करूंगा. बट आई वुड से कि यू नो it is not true. While doing the engineering, we all are hustling and trying to figure out our interests. Engineering sure gives you a degree on which you can rely on, and I don't know how much you can rely, because these days it is, I mean, there was a time when finding a job was difficult, right? But see, uh, having a degree as a backup is a very good option, right? You can always fall back onto it, and also it gives you some social credibility. But at the same time, what you should be doing is, while you're pursuing your academics, you should also be developing, doing something, such as work as an intern, ताकि तुमको वहां से you are actually learning. तुम जो academics में सीखते हो उसके principles तुम अपने काम पे लगाओगे, and it can be anything. I'll give you an example.
Give
If
an
you are
example.
studying engineering और अगर तुमको वॉलीबॉल खेलने में इंटरेस्ट है, right? You go to CPED every day and play volleyball. See how you will apply your engineering principles there. Maybe you will come up with a better camera that can track the motion of the ball every time it crosses the net. So, and these things do not have to wait until the time you finish your engineering, because तब तुमको जॉब ढूंढने में ये रहेगा, and that time there'll be so much peer pressure on you, because everybody would have got a job and your parents and neighbors will be asking like कि, where is the job? So school is the place where you experiment, you fail, and you learn. That is why it is a place of learning. And that is
And
exactly where you have to commit all your mistakes. Like, I am proud that um, I have done so much shaitani in school, but those are my stacks of learning that even today I go back to. So yeah, you have to start experimenting, failing, while you are doing your engineering or any other academics.
no, so to
Nidhi.
answer to provide my opinion on that is, see, everything doesn't have to wait until engineering, right? You can, it's okay to not do engineering. Let me put it that way. इंजीनियरिंग करने की जरूरत नहीं है, बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स engineering is not your area of interest. And when I ask people what you're doing, they'll be like engineering, and if I will ask them what engineering, they'll be blank, because that engineering has not come out of interest. It has only come out of a
Back in the
misconception
society,
that only
which is
engineers
prevailing
will.
from years.
But otherwise, there are many different opportunities. See, if you're interested in food, you can be a food scientist, culinary specialist, chefs, entrepreneurs. You can be part of hotel management, food security director. Like, there are many things depending on your interest. It is important that you choose your subjects of interest. You can study law, you can study management, you can be studying arts and humanities. Then there is oceanography, BSc. So many different options are open, like geology, human geography, anthropology, botany, paramedical, you name it, right? There are many different courses that are available, and all these people do live a very good life. So you don't have to do engineering and then do something. Why waste those 4 years?
Right.
Right, right. Okay. Well, we'll take a few fast pointers from your end. Ankit, a kid studying in 10, what are the top 5 skill sets that are needed to have a successful career?
Communication, experimentation, adaptability, problem solving, and curiosity.
Nidhi,
I
anything you
would
want to
say,
add?
yeah, creativity, community, critical thinking, confidence, and other thing would be resilience from my side. Can you hear me? Okay, Akshay is stuck again. But yeah, while Akshay is stuck, I want to
There's some
answer.
video lag.
Yeah. So why I think while Akshay is stuck, I will ask a question that I saw from on Instagram, is that I have too many things I want to learn and study about. How can I choose any one of them? Right. So this is a very classic example or situation I think we face is how many different interests we have. How can we condense everything in one and become one? Because as growing up you've been asked what will you grow up when what will you become when you grow up, and
We
that
didn't get,
pressure of answering what will I be when I grow up, now I have to think, sort through 20 interests and become one person. That is not the kind of pressure anyone should live in. you know because you can be a lot of different things. You can't be one condensed person. When I say like, oh, I'm going to be an engineer, that's it. No, you're going to be a scientist, you can be a researcher, you can be a dancer, you can be a person who's volunteering, you can do many different things at the same time. It's just that you also have to identify which of your interest can bring you financial security, right? That becomes very important, because when financial security comes into picture, you can also live independently. Living independently and making your own money is very very important when you're choosing your career, right?
also.
And so sort it out that way, identify your interest and then see which can give you, or which combinations can give you financial security as well, and most of them will.
I've learned one more thing. What our current Indian education system lacks is financial awareness, which I don't find even at the age of after the kid have done engineering or any degree, they're not aware financially what are the things that exist with respect to tax norms, or where do you invest, what to do. This is one of the part where I feel that Indian education system to take care of it. Well, taking things ahead, uh, Nidhi, after having opted for any career choice, be it a science, commerce, and arts, post once a kid enters graduation, what is the basic thing that a kid needs to know do?
See, once you have entered your graduation after choosing the subject of your choice, that's where you have to start building skills. Even before that, you have to build skills. Honestly, 15 to 18 is a place where you have to build different skills, which Ankit will talk about. And also, after you enter your graduation, at that point, again, internships become very important for you. It's one place where, see, now for 10 plus 2 years, 12 years, you have studied elemental, basic, fundamental subjects of the world. Now is the time in your undergraduate where you pick the subject that interests you after these 12 years. That is something you pick to study now. That's like your whole thing, right? 4 years you're going to study everything about that subject, different related concepts to that subject. It's a very exciting time because it took you all this while to reach here. And at that point I think you should definitely dig deeper into your subject that you're studying, find out more internship opportunities there, develop skills on the side, and build communication, creativity, find a good community. Keep your eyes and ears open, I would say, because you can create your own opportunities when you have
What
learned the
I'm
subject.
observing currently is that when a kid enters the 11th, 12th or graduation, it is okay. 11th, 12th is समझ सकता है as a science stream, but when a kid enters graduation, what a typical kid does is that just go college, come home. That's it. As you mentioned, that this is not what is education. It is about you apply your brain what you have learned in some space where you can grow yourself, which unfortunately is not happening here.
Hmm.
Ankit, you
Hmm.
But
want to add
Akshay,
something?
in defense of the students, right? Students do not have the time and the bandwidth to go and do that. First of all, these channels are very few where they can go and do something. Second thing is, if there is something, right, what takes priority is their studies. their tuitions. After that tuition test, exam ka test, all of this takes
Exactly.
priority,
Exam
and then the student
completion.
does not have any time. And then it is very important students to also have a downtime where they are just not doing anything, because that is where they also need a lot of rest. So I think we have to take a holistic view at it, right? The entire system is designed in such a way that students are feeling so much pressurized these days, and we have to start untangling one thing at a time. And the first thing I would say is support and empathy towards our students. We have to start thinking and talking to them, what is it that you like? Let's try to practice that for 30 minutes every day and
Hmm.
see how it affects your mood, because
Hmm.
mental health is also a big concern that the students faces. And who has created this pressure of exams? It is us, right? Our expectations, teachers expectations, parents expectations, job givers expectations, that oh, you need to have this much marks only, then I'm going to hire you. So, and students are not meant to work under pressure, and then we ask them to have creativity. Come on.
Well, fine. Okay. Okay. One more thing, what I'm facing here with the kid is that there's no urge to do anything. They just want to sit down, have a chit chat among friends, which is not that relevant discussion. They want to spend time on Snapchat. They want to just Instagram ke reels swipe karo. They feel that doing at this age is so okay, and I feel that pain कि जो एज में जो करना चाहिए वो छोड़ के they involved in many other activities. What could be this decision? How, as a kid or a parent, can you help? Ankit, being in education sector now in US, you can help that. What is so different happening in US कंपेयर टू इंडिया कि इंडिया में तो वही माइंडसेट है कि गप्पे लगाओ मजे करो
Yes,
वो एज
yes.
को स्पेंडिंग ऑफ टाइम में अवेयरनेस नहीं होता है एंड दैट पेन आई
Very
कैन सी
good
द
question.
पेरेंट्स किड सो
Yeah.
व्हाट यूएस किड्स आर डूइंग सो डिफरेंटली अंकित
I'll tell you. We have been mentioning about community, right? They gather together who are interested in the same things and do that. If five people are interested in music, they come together, listen to music together for on a record, not on their headphones. They listen to it together. This is just an example, right? And then they start creating music. They go and talk to
And
people
also
who are doing.
critiquing music, right?
Yes, yes. And there are also other activities. If you're interested in craft, people get together and do origami craft. See, I think it is about like what you see is what you will do. If five people around you are doing the same thing, naturally you will also do the same thing. So, as educators, we have to create spaces where
करेक्ट
students can come in and engage in this activity, right? And I would like to request you, if you can also create these spaces in your classroom, one day just bring students and tell them that don't do anything. We will have activities for them, then see how their creativity comes out. So they not doing anything is also for us to take a note that we are not providing them opportunities and activities where they can do something. I know that students, whenever there's like any competition or something, like cycling and all that, they do participate. So more and more such events will bring more students in together of their own interests. So we need to create that as a society, and this is I request this to parents as well as educators. Take note that create more opportunities for children to be together and do something more constructive with their time. It's okay if they skip their test.
निधि इट्स ओके टू स्किप द टेस्ट अंकित मेरा दुकान बंद
If
कराएगा
they're doing this, then yes, yes.
No, yeah, yeah. No, I think the other point is students are not given the opportunity to identify what their interests are, and even if they
wow
have identified their interest, nobody
they
is
don't have the
taking them
direction
seriously. No, they're
oh
not taking them
nobody's taking this
seriously.
seriously
Yeah, because see, students are grown-ups. Come on. When we were growing up, we had our own minds, we have our own intelligence, right? We know what we like, what we don't like. There is confusion, of course, but we do know what we like. What am I drawn towards? What am I not good at? What am I good at? If you will provide that space to the student to express themselves, then they can build more of self-awareness. Once you value their opinion, I think that's where I feel like the pressing issue in today's children in
Yes.
between parents and children is that children are not taken seriously. Children are very intelligent people, they are after all your children. So I think it's important that you trust your children and give them that space to talk. That becomes important. And let, and different students also come together and discuss a certain topic, right? So it's not like friends, you have friends for this very reason.
True. So we are just falling short of time. We'll just add a few things and then we'll have a Q&A session.
Yeah.
So my point here is next, just within the four walls, a student restricting or a parent just sending here and there, running here and there. I would say parent ko, as a parent at age of 8th standard onwards, I feel at least 7 तक तो उतना नहीं open up होता है. 8 to 12 के range में parents should just allow the kid to do 1,000 things at a time and not think of the result कि कितना succeed हो रहा है कितना. And along with that, stop comparing your kids with someone else. Every kid is unique by himself or herself. So if you want to have a successful career or help you in taking the right career choices, you need to explore.
Absolutely.
You need to support your kid or provide the right platform. Nidhi or Ankit can add more on that.
No, I think we are good. We can get the yeah, I think we have covered like good enough careers and also how they can choose their careers. Now I think if we can answer the questions, that'll be great. So if anyone has any questions, you can get started. But until then, I will be answering the questions that were already pre-sent to us. And so the question is that I have no idea what I shall choose after 10th. I have a lot thought about lot of stuff, but I'm still confused. So my answer to that question would be that confusion is going to prevail. It's okay if confusion prevails, but what think about what subjects are interesting to you. If subjects like history, civics, geography, social studies in general interest you, then maybe arts and humanities is a good place to start. But I would be careful of doing that in Belgium, right? So generally I would think about still going with science many times, right? You need to go with science, and I'll tell you why. It's not necessary that just because you got into science, now you have to become an engineer or a doctor. Not necessary. It is not even necessary that you have to score
Well
above
said.
80, 90, 70. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. You study science only because these subjects will help you in the future, even if you're going to study even if you like civics and history, because in your bachelor's you can always choose bachelor of history, bachelor of arts, economics and all of that. So your after 10th, I would say the most easy thing is go for science. If not, go for commerce also, that is also okay. And this is for people in Belgium because arts colleges are not good in Belgium. That's all. And don't study 11th and 12th only to score marks. That's important.
Ankit, you can answer that doubt. How to inculcate time management in students?
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, it is very important that students manage their time. And now that we are working with interns, they when we tell them that okay, you have to meet us at this day and this time, they are baffled. It's like, how can we decide something 2 days ahead of time? But that is what companies and everybody else does, right? We plan. So I'll be very quick on this. I would say that you have to start by planning out your week. Every Sunday in the evening, sit with a planner and say what will you be doing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Have a lot of time where you are not doing anything and try to follow that. I think
That
that's
is
the best way that you can do that, because if you go with time, time will go with you.
Hmm. Hmm.
how to choose a career stream when you have not identified your subjects yet. So that is what you are supposed to do at schooling. That you need to explore yourself by identifying where unless you're not exploring the subject, how would you know what your interest area lies?
And that's okay. See, many times people don't have not yet found an interesting subject, but I'm sure that when the student was studying in the school, something would have interested, right? Which subject interested the student? Even if not subject, which topic? which topic interested the student. Does the student like cars, or does the student like fashion? Does the student love birds? Do they like going out to in nature for walking? Does the student love music? All these are interests, right? So identifying those interests is important. So then subject will come very later on. First identify the
True.
interest, then build subject on top of that.
And even parents can help because they have observed their kids from a young age, right? So they can also ask question in such a way to check whether they like it or not.
Any other questions from parent side, if they have? Well, till then
If
you can talk something about force on it. We didn't discuss about basically we did not discuss what we are planning and what we are coming up with and what's the program all about. And Nidhi or Ankit can add on that.
Yeah, I can start and Ankit can add on to that. So, basically, Force is a platform or a venture for identifying what students' interests are and providing them with career development opportunities for empowering students as well as parents to choose the best career choice for them. And the way we do it is not through the psychometric test, neither do we go through all the hassle of identifying if the child is good at aptitude or not, because those methods don't really mean anything. Because we have worked with students whose aptitude was very high but absolutely was not interested in engineering or anything like that. At that point it does not matter what you're good at, it all that matters is what you want to be doing, right? So we don't use those tests, but we have like a proprietary program that we work with on to how we identify interests using learning styles and values and skills. From there on, we start to do industry related readings, because those industry related readings will help you understand which area interest which industry interests you. Because if you're interested in music, sure, you can be a music director, but you can also create your own music. I know in that failure is a lot, but you can be working for companies like YouTube Music, Spotify. You could be doing your weekends for music. So figuring out what profession you can make that will bring you financial security, then figuring out which interest can turn out as a hobby, and then seeing how you can build a meaningful career out of that. And it's an 8 to 10 week program where Ankit will expand on.
Yeah. So in this program, it is not just that we tell a student, just like their kundli, ki you're good with this, go do this. No, we at Force we learn by doing. That means we assign them research projects and we do case studies. One of the case studies that we have been building is like you might have heard a lot about environment and how it is being degraded. So there are ridley turtles that come along the coast of India, and they are one of the most endangered species. We will be engaging with our students to figure out what are ridley turtles, why do they come, how do they come, and how we can protect them, what engineering solutions we can build, and how can we work with the local community to protect those turtles. So this is actually where you are learning something. If you just learn from like class about like environment is dying, this is biosphere, this is atmosphere, this is lithosphere, so what? This is
Yeah.
where you actually come in and apply those teachings, like
So
how
you're
it
applying your
works,
geography
because
knowledge
learning.
now. How to apply that geography knowledge? Just an example.
Right.
Yes, yes. So yeah, you learn a lot by doing, and that is what the force program is all about, I would say. You will
Yeah.
develop those skills and that thinking, design thinking, research thinking skills, so that tomorrow, you if you have an idea or you want to work on something, you know how to do it. You have to All you need is a bunch of 2 to 3 friends, and you start working, you test your hypothesis, you go out, you do your literature review, you do your surveys, and then you start ideating. But this mindset needs to be there, right, in students. This will not come from reading theoretical things, this will come from doing, and this is what we'll be bringing into force.
And a quick segment to that would be, one person has asked, in the US schools, kids drop out and start their own businesses, but in India there is no such social security for dropouts. Piggy banking on what Ankit just said, um, if you learn skills, that is your social security, right? Your skills are your social security. There is no other way to put it, because it's not like the government is giving money to people who have dropped out of college in US. They're also working on their skills. They've trusted their skills. Risk taking appetite should be high, one. And that risk taking appetite will become high when you are self confident. Self confidence will come when you have developed good skills on which you can bank. It's not just theoretical knowledge. So that, I think, force builds, force aims at doing that itself, learning by doing, to build better leaders of tomorrow.
How do you identify or explore your interest? That is
I
what
think we just
discussed.
answered that
We
question,
discussed
right?
all that.
Yeah,
That you
how
need
to
to have an
identify.
open mindset. Be ready to accept new things that is coming up as an assignment or as a project. Just accept it irrespective of whether you win or you lose. That's not that important. Losing is the best part. That is, you can enjoy it at a young age, so that the taste of success, you can taste the fruits later.
Right, right, absolutely. Like,
Uh,
yeah,
One more question: how do we get time to build skills when there is a lot of academic pressure on a student between the age of 15 to 18, and parents think doing other thing, anything other than studies, is waste of time?
I would like
yeah,
to take that answer.
yes,
Uh,
Ankit.
yes,
in
Ankit.
the age of 15 to 18th, you're mostly between 10 to 12th year, right? Not everybody has to do competitive exams. Competitive exam was only to get into IIT, but only 2 to 3% of the, not even that percent of the
One
students
person.
get into
One
IIT.
percent.
So why are you there is an entire world outside competitive exam. Live that. Okay, only when you drop this thing that okay, I don't have to prepare for competitive exam, that
Yeah,
is when you will learn science and commerce. And once you start learning science and commerce, taking interest, you will naturally gravitate towards your interest and building skills. So do not chase competitive exam. If you're cut out for competitive exam, then make sure that you learn from the best of academy, and then pursue your interest, because it requires a lot of preparation and dedication. It's another ball game altogether if you want to get into a competitive exam thing. But if not, then build your skills.
yeah, and you need not, just because you're giving competitive exam or preparing for competitive exam does not make you a competent person for a skill. You know, competency is absolutely not coming from competitive
No,
exams,
that's
because
not wrong.
this is an outdated education system. Let's sit with that thought, that it's an outdated education system which we are all trying to get into. uh, the world has changed, and this if you are going to fall in the trap and still continuing going to be in the same education system, then don't expect different results.
As a parent and as a kid, you need to realize this, that as Ankit said, that is just 1% or 2% getting into getting very good into getting into IT kind of thing of college. But what about the rest of them? So there is a big world that exists beyond these careers where you can opt for, and it's okay that not scoring great in 12, even after putting efforts, it's okay. You can still have a great career. So parents should not have that, अरे मेरा बच्चा अब क्या करेगा, कुछ कर नहीं पाया 10th और 12th में, हमें आगे क्या पेट कैसे भरेगा. So that should not be a question. Yes. At what age should you join? At what age should we join internship, or after internship? What is the correct age to start a startup?
There is no right age, right? You can start an internship at any age. You need to approach right. Find a common ground between you and the person you're approaching. So networking becomes important in internship, so find internship through networking. And there is no correct age to start a startup. If you have an idea for a startup, you can definitely hit us up, and let's see how that idea turns out. And if it's good, then we can get something started as well, right? So it's not necessary that your internship your entrepreneurship streak should start only when you grow up. There's no right age to it. Yes, Ankit.
Ankit.
And I would like to add that India has a very strong sense of community where networking comes very naturally. So, to give you an example, in your surrounding, there might be one bakery, one panchar ka dukan, one istri ka dukan. Okay. Go for 1 week and learn all the things that they do. That is your internship, and write it in your resume. This will teach you so much more and humility that you will never have. Do you know how a bread is baked? How much should be its thickness? How much should be its fluffiness? No, right? Then go
No,
and
and what
learn
is the
that.
shelf life? Because they are also running the business, right? What is their shelf life? How much of the bread is going waste? How much money they're making each day? What are the profits? Like, there's so many things you can be learning just from the bakery. If you're interested in entrepreneurship, start there.
And I know a lot of students are interested in automobile. Please go and work in the garage. Until you get your hands dirty, you cannot call yourself an automobile engineer. So please go and work in the garages because they need help. And once you come in, you will also help them because they are not that knowledgeable, but they are skilled. So exchange your knowledge for that skill, and that's your internship.
One girl is asking, I've decided to do MBA in finance and I want to a degree for it. Most of them are suggesting go for engineering, but I want something other than engineering. If you want to do MBA into finance, you can go through commerce as well.
Right. And see, if you are so hell bent on, I mean, if you already know for sure that if you like, if you're interested in MBA finance, you should be studying bachelor in finance and accounting. It there is no better career bachelor for you if you already know that you want to study MBA finance, right? So study bachelor's finance and accounting. A lot of opportunities as auditors will open up in the big four like Deloitte, Ernst and Young, KPMG, PwC, McKinsey as well. You can get into private equity. You could be also getting into finance analyst positions. From there on, if finance again really interests you, then MBA is always an option, or again masters in finance itself. So these, you could be working anywhere from venture capitalists to the government, right? And everything, all financial organizations in between. So if finance is something you already know of, I would study bachelor in finance and accounting,
Okay, there's a
BA.
question: will force be giving career guidance to the students?
Yes, Palash. we okay, I don't know if it's the same Palash that I know,
It's the
but
same thing.
yes, force it depends. Let me not answer that. It depends, but yes, you are anytime welcome for career guidance.
Can you tell something about digital marketing?
No, that is a question I think you can Google and find answers for yourself.
What is a
uh
good career option after 10 plus 2 science to get a good paying job? I would say
oh,
you need to have a first good degree or skill sets. Then you should be thinking of getting a job, right, Nidhi?
what's a good paying job? Like, what's your definition of good paying job? That is
That,
something I
that
want
that
to know.
is so varied from individual to individual.
Exactly, right? Exactly. So if your paying job rate starts like say 50 lakhs a year, you're not going to get it anywhere. It's impossible. See, I started with nine no $7 an hour, right? When I was doing my part-time, I started with $7 an hour, and that's nothing. And today it would have increased. My point is, you cannot get a high paying job after 10 plus 2 science. It's not possible unless your skills are very different and you can offer value to the companies. Then yes, but otherwise you do need a degree, like Akshay is talking about.
I- Is it important to choose the career which parents are willing as there are skills in the students? Is there a scope? What's
To choose
your
careers
opinion?
which parents are
Are
willing
willing?
and there are skills in students, which there is scope. Ankit, can you take that, because I need to charge my battery.
Sure. Can you repeat the question, Akshay?
Is it important to choose a career which parents are willing as there are skills in students? I mean, the kid might the kid is trying to tell we have some different skill sets, but it is a parent pressure which the kid has to opt for listening to parents.
Oh,
I think
very
that is what
good
I'm
point,
trying
right?
to.
So, here what is happening is basically parents and students, right, have not had the conversation about careers and their interests and their skills, right? What happens is around the class of like 10th or 12th, you need to start engaging with each other on a dialogue basis as to what you need to do. And this is not like a 30-minute conversation that you do. No, this conversation evolves. if you both are seeing things differently, and you should consider both side perspective. What is the parent saying, because they have got very good observation skills about you, and what maybe they are approaching more from a security standpoint, and the student has a belief in themselves and want to do something that they believe in, right? So they are coming from an experimentation standpoint, and they both have to build consensus over a period of time. This is not a one time conversation, it evolves over a period of time. But what is important here is both have the understanding and empathy for what each of them are saying, and then figure out a middle way.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Nidhi
trust
and Ankit,
plays an
something.
important.
Nidhi or Ankit, you can talk something more post this. Okay, there's a question. We'll take that. Before we take that question, what we have planned for the coming days or weeks or months for kids with respect to force. You can add something on that.
Yeah, Ankit, do you want to go?
Yeah. So we are starting a career accelerator program in the month of June. It will be a 8 to 12 week program where students will go through something called as like Harvard case style method teaching, where every weekend on Saturday or Sunday they will come for 2 to 3 hours, where we will engage them in different activities and learning models such as inquiry based learning, experiential learning, personalized learning. Along with this, they will also be provided mentors who will be guiding them through a project that they have to finish in this 8 to 12 weeks. So what is happening is, on a weekly basis, the student is getting coached on how are they progressing, what are some of the things that they need to know. And these mentors that we are bringing in, they are all qualified and professionals working in US and India in very different sectors and industries. So it will happen that if you are interested in something, you will pair with something and they can help you with building your career trajectory, and you can learn a lot vicariously from their knowledge. So this is the program that we'll be building, and we'll be starting in June. It will be for 3 months, and it's not going to be hectic for the student, but there'll be a lot of learning and skill development.
Along with
This
that, we'll do career guidance for the students, right? So this is part of the career guidance where we will identify your interests, we'll identify your skills and values, your learning styles, and then provide different career trajectories for you, for your career choice.
such a good question I've got. So, sir, should we go for a profession in which we can earn more than enough for ourselves, or choose a profession where we have interest and we love doing that?
That's a very interesting question because it really depends on what interest is it that you love doing. See, if you're interested in, say, music and you are very good with, say, coding, just because, right? So in that case, you could be choosing a profession as a coder, or you could also study anything that you're interested in, like what your other interests are. If it is music, you can study music theory, right? You could be studying to become sound engineer. There is also like BSc in acoustics. There's also BSc in electronics and communication, not just engineering. So if you are interested in sound systems, if you're interested in music, then you can get into sound systems of it. If that's your interest, if you are interested in creating music, then that can always be your hobby, and slowly you can develop with your teacher and put up a show, and build from there. So it really depends. It's a very good question, but my answer will say it really depends on what kind of profession you're looking to choose and what your interest is, and do they have to be separate or do they have to be the same. So the
I
answer
would
will
also
depend.
like to ask here that it is add here that it is very important that you set expectations on the kind of amount that you want to make, right? If you want to be a very high earner, which is fine, there's nothing wrong with that, but you need to set your expectations like that,
Hmm.
because some industries are such that they might not give you a lot of money, but they will give you a lot of other things that you might need from life, such as maybe more of leisure, more of community, more of adventure, travel. So you have to really choose. Money is not just the one thing that the job gives you, there are other factors also. So you always have to know that and this is where the values come in, right? That we do in our career program is like, what values do you resonate with? Are you looking for like a lot of money, or are you looking for a more hands off approach from money? So that's
See,
also goes into the consideration.
right. And talking about money, when we talk about money and wealth, we somehow think about monetary benefits as money and wealth. Right? It is not only monetary and financial that makes wealth for you. Your health is also wealth, right? The kind of friends and society and the social circle that you are in, that is also wealth. The amount of time you get to spend freely without any stress, that is also wealth. So wealth is a combination of
Yeah,
many different parameters, and then it becomes wealth. A lot of people are looking to make a lot of
yeah.
money
I
to
think there are a
travel,
lot of
but
more other questions coming in.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
When you talk about students, when you talk about students need to talk in communities about their interest, how can we or where can we find such people around us when we do not know what are their interest? Very good.
That's a very good point. Ankit, do you want to answer that, or I can go?
I can answer that, and I'll be pointed because we have a lot of questions coming in. So the very first thing is, students have to start talking, and when you are talking with someone, right, you have to talk about these things. Ask them like, hey, what subject interests you? What do you really like about? Let's have a conversation about this and figure out what is happening. I would say that if 4 or 5 students come together and start a community, maybe a small club, and start doing activities in your area itself, I think that's a very good first start. And then you can always start to reach out to more people, avenues, organizations that are doing these kind of things.
And you can also reach out to us, and we can help build or facilitate
Yeah,
that community for you.
always.
Okay. There's one question that is the last question I think so we'll take. Will a person in finance will have a good money in future, or do AI will replace human in finance also?
If
Okay.
okay, now that the cat is out of the bag, AI, right? What is AI? See, I will tell you that AI is not here to take our jobs. Rather, it is going to make our jobs easier. And when I say easier, that means you need to be smarter than AI in doing some things. Like, there is nothing that can take the human intelligence, right? You cannot put that into a machine. It will always be artificial. So that's why, uh, like, give you an example. Okay, AI can only process things at a much faster rate and at a much larger scale. So talking about finance, right, what AI can help you is that it can help you crunch the numbers.
It will give you data. Network from Ankit, I think.
Mute him.
Yeah.
Yeah, mute him, and then we can. All right. I think Ankit is talking, but we cannot hear
Yeah.
because of
Yeah, that's right. We'll take one more question.
1 second. Palash, can you mute him? And
Yeah, I'll take
okay, I
that
think
question. There is a question
yeah.
from Stavan. What is good, doing a mechanical engineering as a degree or doing a master degree in CS or doing B and master degree in CS? See, Palash, sorry, see, Stavan, I'll add something. I come from a mechanical background. There's one more friend from me who's coming from mechanical background. And because he's talking about what is good, I would say first thing, what interests you more, whether it is computer side or mechanical side. So don't think whether doing this is good or that is good or doing master degree here is good. I know one of my friend who is doing very good in his career, who has done mechanical engineering and then he's done a master's from a local Karnataka college, but his skill sets are on different level. Because of his skill set, today he's at a very good post in Volvo. So I feel it is not about choosing mechanical or CS. I feel it is more about what entertains you. Based on that, you take a choice, irrespective whether it will give me a good future or no. Don't. I think so. He's thinking from that point of view that CS lunga so it will give me a good paying job compared to mechanical. So that is where I want to add a point. One of my friend who is from a mechanical domain and his boss, who is from a very local engineering college, is in Amazon with a mechanical background. but doing completely different kind of a job profile in Amazon and earning great. So don't take a call based on just what pays you high. I'll take that. I would say, okay, Stavan. Yeah, fine. I think so. We'll wrap it off. Anything last closing comments from Nidhi and Ankit, and then I'll close it up. Nidhi, Ankit. So on skill sets, anything?
So yeah, I will just say that don't worry about what has scope in the future. Everything has scope in the future. Just concentrate on building good skills. That is all that you need.
I think Ankit is not audible. Ankit, you're not audible. You can unmute. Right. Okay. Just from parents' point of view, I would say that as a parent, please support your kids, whatever career choices he or she wants to take, and put in full of your energy to explore where all things, what all career options we can explore. Well, that's it. Thank you for joining us on this Sunday evening. We'll wrap it up. And Nidhi, what about the next plans? What we have planned for? That you can talk and we can end it up.
So yeah, I think yeah, we are going to launch a program in June, and that's where we will be doing all the career development
Plus,
sessions.
plus, plus, what
Yes.
kind of talk series you're coming up with?
So talk series and sense. So we have a YouTube channel that has started. So please follow us on YouTube at Nidhi Garni at Force ALT-EDU. So you will get information on different kinds of careers that are out there and what is the scope for people who do commerce, art, science. There are many different topics like that. And feel free to leave a comment as well if there is something that you want to hear about. So I can make a video based off of that. And all I want to say is that you don't have to worry about your career and the future because that's exactly why Force was started, right? To help out and provide that guidance. And we promise that we will do our best because ultimately all three of us really want to see that impact on students, how they grow and what is good for them to be better leaders of tomorrow.
Well, fine. Thank you, Nidhi and Ankin, for joining. Thank you, all the parents, for joining. That's a wrap from our end for today. Thank you.
All right, thank you everyone, bye.